Along Highway 50 between Titusville and Orlando is tucked the little community of Christmas, Florida. The area boasts wetlands, hiking trails, a replica fort from the Seminole War period, and the world's largest alligator-shaped building. Meet Swampy. Swampy is the cornerstone of Florida's Jungle Adventures, and that is the Antventure we're sharing today. At around 200 feet long, Swampy is the world's largest alligator. The giant reptile was built in the 1980s by the park's founder, Herman Brooks, though the park has been around since 1969. Today, Swampy serves as the entrance to Jungle Adventures, where you purchase tickets and peruse the gift shop. Now, we entered the park through Swampy's side, and we were greeted by several friendly staff members. They don't have a printed schedule to hand out, but they made sure to tell us about the day's presentations and where we needed to be for the first one. Now, the presentations work on a rotating schedule. The first rotation starts at 10 a.m. and the last rotation starts at 3 p.m. and there are no admissions after 4 p.m. So if you come before noon, you have a chance of seeing all of the presentations. Now, once you exit Swampy, you step out into the 10-acre park that is home to more than 200 alligators of all shapes and sizes, in addition to a Florida panther, gray wolves, guinea fowl, those were hilarious, goats, deer, reptiles, turtles, and more. Now, there are 3 presentations that are scheduled, and you start off by meeting and holding some animals, such as a baby alligator, a snake, I skipped that one, a tarantula, hedgehog, etc. Here's a few clips from that show.
Now, Leo is a 2-year-old baby alligator. Alright, we can tell because A, he was born here, and B, he is literally about 2 feet long. You see his little tail? See how he's missing part of his tail? Must have got bit off as a baby. Now, that's how I know it's Leo. Because of his tail. Leo likes the tail. Now, alligators grow a foot a year for the first 6. So 2-foot gator, 2 years old. 4-foot gator, 4 years old. 6-foot gator, 6 years old. After that 6 foot, they start growing inches. I'm talking like 1 to 3 inches a year. That is until females reach 7 to 9 feet. Okay, don't get it twisted. 9 feet is a good-sized alligator. Alright, so don't think, oh, females are small. No. 7 feet is huge. 8 feet is huge. 9 feet is huge. Alright. Male alligators, on the other hand, they absolutely never stop growing. They grow their whole lives, which in captivity can be up to about 100 years old. So that math equation is 6 feet at 6 years old, and then 94 more years to grow 1 inch to 3 inches a year after that. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Now you can get a 17-foot gator off of that. Alright, it is super easy to hold an alligator. He's a little wiggle worm. But you put one hand around the neck and the other hand just goes straight under the belly. And he just gets comfy. Like I said, he's a little wiggle worm. He'll just wiggle, and you just hold him. And then you smile. And you get a picture by your mom or your sister or your husband or whoever. And then I take a picture because my pictures get turned into magnets, and then we have a good time. Alright, you ready?
Go, Care Bear. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Ah, my phone's stuck. I'm that mom. I'm that sister.
Okay, obviously. This is an African royal python. Okay. African from Africa. Royal, because royalty in Africa and Egypt used to literally wear them. Okay, they wore live snakes on their wrists and around their necks. They'd go out into the cities, and that's how people knew that they were royalty. Python, a non-venomous constrictor. Now, a lot of people get confused and think that constrictors just bounce up in the air, wrap around an animal, and constrict it to death. But that's not how it works. They have to bite it first. You gotta hold it still. Snakes don't bounce in the air. They're not Tigger. Okay? They don't just curl up and then boing right over to that bunny rabbit and squeeze it to death. No, they actually have to come out, bite the rat or whatever that they're eating, and then wrap around it.
This is like really close to alligators. It's like kind of like
Oh, that's fascinating how he slowly moves. That's cool. Yep.
Next up, you wander over a slightly slippery when wet bridge to visit the native village, where you learn about how the early Floridians would hunt alligators and other wildlife. This was fairly interesting to learn how alligators would have been hunted for food and for clothing in the past. Venturing back over the bridge, it is time for the alligators to have a snack with the jumping jamboree.
You don't see that? That's gnarly. Can you imagine getting this in your mouth?
What is that, chicken or what?
Chicken. Little man, open your mouth! Alright, try it one more time. Oh my god! I quit.
Do they get it later or not?
Huh?
Do they get it later on?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, I literally can't get any closer to his mouth.
No, you need a stick. That's what you need.
No, then I'll really, then I'll lose the stick. You are finally welcome.
Finally, you hop on board the River Queen for the Jungle Swamp Cruise. This is a very interesting experience, especially the day we went, because it was a bit cooler when we were there, and it was kind of fun just to try to spot the alligators hiding just beneath the surface. On a warmer day, it would be a lot more fun. You'd see more out sunning, so plan maybe to go on a warmer day.
It's called a Brazilian pepper tree. They are highly invasive and have taken over so much of Florida. They will smother out any plant that you bring with it, or that you try to bring up with it or bring up around it. And the berries will make you sick.
Have the pythons made it up this far yet?
Nope, thank God. The tegus have.
There's a nice long path that takes you through the park past the baby and adolescent alligators before you walk along a boardwalk where the alligators are literally sitting just at your feet. This was a little disconcerting at first because the boardwalk is like very close to the edge of the swampy water, and below, just inches from your feet, separated by a wire fence of course, were alligators that were more than 6 feet long. It took a few minutes for me to be comfortable walking there. It's just weird to have them so close that I could see them at my feet. It's just a little bit different. Now you can purchase food to feed the alligators if you choose, but this is probably an experience that is more enjoyable in the summer months, or definitely when it's warmer, when the alligators are more active. Now you should note there is a bit of an unpleasant smell around the park, but this is due to the duckweed-filled natural swamp that the alligators live in. It's natural. There's nothing they can do about it, so you are getting the real Florida experience. Now we've created a rating system, and I want to give you a breakdown of what that includes. We're going to look at price, crowds, services, activities, duration, and was it memorable. So let's begin with prices. So as of this recording, people ages 12 to 59 pay $29.95 plus tax for tickets. Seniors aged 60 and over pay $22.95 plus tax. Children ages 3 to 11, it is $17.95 plus tax, and children 3 and under are free. This is, I think, a relatively pretty reasonable price, and I'll explain a little bit why later under activities, why I think for $30 this is a pretty good price. Number 2 is crowds. The crowds were very low the day we went. It was nice and calm. We got there early. It might get busier later in the day. I think there were more people coming as we were leaving, but we found it to be very nice and calm. It's one of those smaller roadside attractions, so it's not going to be the hustle and bustle of Disney World or like Gatorland. It will be a little bit calmer. Number 3, services. So under services, we're going to look at website, cleanliness, and workers. So let's start with the website. Now, the website, in my opinion, is a little bit out of date, but it had all the pertinent information I needed to know. It had prices, times, then it was open, and a little bit about the presentations that we would see. So on the whole, a very good website, responded quickly. I thought it was good. Cleanliness. Now, the park is older, and it is outdoors, so some things look a little worse for wear, but it was very clean. Just don't expect Disney standard restroom structures, etc. This is a small roadside attraction. It's run by a small staff and volunteers. Also, the intent is for it to feel like you are in the alligator's natural habitat, and so this is a unique experience where you can feel like you're in the alligator's home, so it's just going to be a little bit different than maybe some bigger attractions. So for the workers, I thought they were all very kind. We were greeted as we walked in. They were humorous. The presentations, it was very humorous. They were well informed. I was very impressed with the workers at Jungle Adventures. Top-notch experience from them. Alright, for number 4, we have activities. So what I liked about this park compared to, say, Gatorland, I hate to knock Gatorland, but compared to Gatorland is that at Gatorland everything felt like it was an upcharge. You want to touch an alligator, upcharge. They have you so you can sit to like you're wrestling an alligator, upcharge. Everything was just this upcharge, 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 and that felt a little obnoxious. But here at Jungle Adventures, so the very first presentation we went to, you got to hold a baby alligator, and you could hold a snake if you so desired. Again, I did not do that. You could touch a tarantula, you were able to touch a hedgehog, and there wasn't an upcharge. They did ask that if you considered purchasing, they had like a little pin that had the picture of you holding the alligator on it. There was a charge for that, but it wasn't like a pressure you have to do this, and I thought that was very nice. So for the cost, because of the fact you get to hold a baby alligator, a snake, I think it's a very good deal for what you get to do. Number 5 is duration. So we got there right at 9:30, so we were able to see the first set of presentations that began at 10, and I think we left about 12:30. So plan on about 3 hours, so you have time to wander through the park, see each of the presentations. They have an area you can have lunch if you so desire, and you can stay as long as you want. So number 6 would be memorable. I think from the fact that you get to hold a baby alligator or a snake, that's pretty memorable. A lot of the information, I thought that the workers were very well informed, and things that they explained, the things that they said, I'm still, this has been about a month since we went, I still remember the details very well, very clearly. So I think if you're going for an educational purpose with a homeschool group, with kids, this would be a great place to go. It would be very memorable. They explain things in a fun way so that you would remember the facts about alligators and other animals that they had there. And of course you get to hold an alligator, so memorable scale, very, very high there. Let's wrap up this Antventure by giving Jungle Adventure a rating. So the max points we can have are 60. Each section is worth 10 points. So let's begin with price. For price, I'm giving it an 8, crowds 10, services 8, activities 10, duration 9, and for being memorable, I'm giving it a 10. So that gives us a total of 55 points. This is our first video giving attractions a rating, and we're hoping to do more like this in the future. If you have a suggestion of a place we should rate and review, let us know in the comments. We have some other places on the agenda, but if you have something in particular, please let us know in the comments. But that is it for this Ant on the Move video. We will see you guys next time.